For over 50 years, people have come to see the Sharks play. Talent, skill, speed, intelligence, elite-level athleticism. That's not these guys. Biased, one-eyed, opinionated. More often wrong than right. They make up for their complete lack of talent with pure dribble, gibberish, and enthusiasm. This is the ET Stand Podcast. And welcome to the ET Stand Podcast for this Tuesday night debrief, Franko. We've never done one of these.
We haven't. And I mean, there wasn't a game on the weekend for first grade, so we'll give it a go now.
Normally we've got the blue look and feel on our visuals for those that are watching and live with us on YouTube. Thanks for joining us on the ET Stand. We thought, Franko and I thought we should get together for a Tuesday night debrief to go over all things NRLW and also Newtown. Pretty bummer of a weekend for us Sharks fans. So it's been a bummer couple of weeks, really, hasn't it? And goodness me, sometimes being the host of these damn podcasts, you got to rewatch the match. So I rewatched both matches today. Yep. Ouch. Anyway.
Do we think the only thing that could have been worse than that was to have made the grand final as well and had 3 losing games on the same day?
Oh, that would have been absolute sucky. Well, anyway, thanks for coming along and watching. If you're new to the channel, do hit the subscribe button. It's right down there. And then if you're also listening on audio only, please do also hit the subscribe button. Give us a follow or a rating or whatever channel you're listening to us on. We're available on YouTube and Facebook, and then on audio only on YouTube Pods, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Pods. I think that's all. Spotify. I think that's all of them, isn't it, Franko? Yeah, a whole bunch of it. Any good.
If you can't find us, let us know and we'll get ourselves there.
All right, exactly. Well, if you can't find us and you're listening to this, though, Franko, how would you know?
Maybe this is where they found us, but hey, I'd like to be able to listen to you on some other platform that I use more regularly. I don't know.
That we would definitely be up for. We've got some cool, fun things coming in the off season. Next week we'll have an end of season review with yours truly, and then the week after, Franko is taking us on a deep dive through all of the off contract players in the lead up to that 1st November negotiating free period. All right, let's get into it. The Newtown Jets, let me just put the ticker up on the board. The Newtown Jets were defeated by the North Devils 18 points to 20 with a halftime lead. It was just a fun grand final day. Franko, you had a barbecue at home. What were you up to? Did you have fun?
Barbecue of one, but yeah, it was pretty good. I just, good weather, knowing that you've got a couple of games to watch that you're fully invested in, just gives it that little bit of extra spice. And I cracked open a couple of beers, sat back and enjoyed the day as best I could with the results falling the way they were. But the long weekend was always a lovely addition, and really enjoyed the day throughout. So, yeah, I guess, but the results going the way they did.
The Sharkies, didn't they? Or the Newtown. Let's answer this question first. Do you think of them as the Sharkies, or you think of the Jets? They are
Sharkies in my mind because we don't have an alternative. If the question had been, would I prefer us to have a standalone Sharkies team? That's another debate. But given that we don't, I'm happy to sort of call them our own and let's go. Wish them all the best of success. But obviously there's Newtown supporters that believe that it's their team, and rightly so. It's an engagement of convenience and it works for both parties. So while that is the case, let's hope they do well.
2.0's through in the comments with that completion rate in the swing half. Can tell Newtown have an affiliation with the Sharks. That's definitely true. And g'day to Harley in the comments. Good to see you, Harley. And then confirming that Caitlin Johnson signs with the Sharks for 2025, which we'll talk about more signings in that episode coming up. All right, well, look, the big talking point, I think, for the Sharkies positive point, and really was the telling moment, was, as 2.0 would say, Goat Street, Stone Street. Boy, he had a game, Franko.
He did. Hat-trick, buddy. Yeah, 16 tries for the season. So, he I think, there might have been a little bit of a question mark from some. There's always a bit of trepidation in terms of bringing juniors up and giving them a go in first grade. I think it was mainly born out of a few errors that he made through the trials, in the preseason cup or whatever they're calling it these days, that maybe he wasn't ready, but the opportunities he had in the NRL really showed that he's a player. And at New South Wales Cup level or State Champion Cup, even this grand final, yeah, he had it all going for him.
He was a star player. When he got injured and went off, we looked slightly different, and obviously replacing a wing is difficult.
Yeah, a reshuffling of that whole edge, so not great, but certainly felt it. But I think just the energy he brought as well, right, was really felt across the field. One of those sort of energetic guys that really showed that team camaraderie at every opportunity, and I thought it was great to see. So he is certainly a keeper.
We're not going to do a play-by-play of every single try. However, I would like a brief Franko files of that brilliant try. Can you at least indulge me and let me sit back and listen to that and relive that?
Of the brilliant try, there is definitely one brilliant try that everyone who watched will be aware of, and it was brilliant. It was absolutely thoroughly entertaining, and it was our first try, absolute blinder. Rodwell fielding a clearing kick inside our 20. He passes it across to Ison with a bit of a wall in front of him. The defenses come up. He turns on the pace and goes around most of them before finding a gap. And after running 20, Stone Street, doing what we've seen him do so well all season, catches up in support, gets the pass. He then runs another 15 meters before passing it back to Ison, who wraps around. And as he's getting taken out, he passes it into Vela, who makes another 5 before offloading it back into Stone Street, who's still supporting, and dashes the final 10 before crashing into 2 defenders and scoring. Just end-to-end stuff. And, down on the scoreboard at that stage, you see something like that and you think, we're on here, this is good. And what talent 2 of our up-and-comers are in Ison and Stone Street that are certainly in and around that conversation of getting more chances and more opportunity in first grade. We saw both of them make their debuts this year. Really promising stuff from them.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I believe you might have been on a messenger chat where someone said, "Oh, look at that try. The quality of the Newtown quality will just ring through now. The Sharks will win from here, or the Jets will win from here." And then Franko, with the immediate response, says, "Mock." And then, yeah, well.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
I never learned.
It was there for everyone to see.
I never
join our Discord. You might see it too.
Join the Discord channel if you want to be involved in my carry on and chat. You can certainly see that. Let's chat about Liam Ison. So, well, for starters, Phil Gould forgot that he was a Penrith junior. And then as soon as he realised how good Liam Ison was, he was like, "Oh, no, that's right. Yeah, I was really bummed," he said in the second half on commentary. "Yeah, I was really disappointed when we let him go." "No, you weren't. You couldn't even remember it, you buffhead." But anyway, Liam Ison,
his age too probably wasn't in the system when Gus was still there.
Well, certainly that. Liam Ison 2.0 in the comments. Ison pace game breaker. We could use that. Certainly, indeed. Franko, how far off is he from Alston Kennedy? Big
look, I think
Kennedy. Goodness.
I think he's off. He's a little way off. He's as we saw in his debut match, he was solid, but he needs to maybe put a bit of bulk on. But with that game, he'll get confidence. Certainly this season, he's playing upper grade, right? He could still be playing flag, and he was playing New South Wales Cup. Yeah. So it just shows how good he is. It's one of those things that he might get compared to, say, Chevy Stewart, because he was a up and coming footballer, fullback, really talented, selected for under 19s New South Wales, getting selected in all the rep games, and was poached by Canberra. A few Sharks fans are upset at losing him, such a great talent. But, you can't keep them all, and we do have a whole batch of players that we're juggling at the moment that, obviously we're a successful pathways program. So we lose that talent, and what do? We go out and we sign Ison from the Panthers to replace Chevy. So it's not like we sat on our hands and went, oh, well, we lost one. We went out and basically got the next best fullback, who's just a bit younger. I believe he's just a bit younger anyway, and has come through and shown that he has the goods as well. So we really haven't missed a beat there. So great work to the Sharks administration for identifying that talent and bringing him across.
I'd love to know, Franko, when they do negotiate and attract that talent, what gets said?
Yeah.
Like, are they saying to Liam Ison, hey, Kennedy's 29, or how old he is? How old is Kennedy? If someone can let us know in the comments. I'm guessing 29. Is he 29, Franko?
Younger than that. No, he's younger than that.
I
probably wouldn't blink at 28, but he's probably 27. I could do a quick little clickety click on the World Wide Web and find out.
The question I have is, how aggressive are they in negotiations? And I can imagine that they would be saying to them that.
So with Ison, he's 27, picked it. Yes. So
he's your favourite player, isn't he? No, Nicker is your favourite player.
Nicker is my favourite player. But I was saying that Kennedy would be a pretty solid fullback before he got his opportunity. So it's good to see that he has sort of made a fist of it.
But he sat claiming players that you called early. Okay.
I'm telling you, I've called a few good junior coming through. And anyway.
Yeah, you just say every player's good that's coming through, and you just say big old. I do not. But I don't get them all right, and I will own up when I don't get them all right as well. So there's a few people out there that will say they never get it wrong and forget their mistakes. But with Ison, look, he's got Dylan Edwards in front of him now. So it makes sense to switch from the Panthers to the Sharks.
Yeah, who are you going to get through there? Not to mention they've got a slew of outside backs that can fill in at fullback quite readily.
And they even had Crichton back then as well, didn't they?
Correct. So in that scenario, right, with us having Kennedy being a blocker, it's not entirely insurmountable that there's an injury and he gets a go.
Well, even when you look at the top, when you look at the top 10 fullback list, Kennedy's frequently not in it. Maybe it is at the bottom 8, bottom 9, something like that. So you can understand why we'd make that choice.
There's a lot of fans out there that have sort of said if there's room to improve, fullback might be that spot. And also the other backup fullback for us in Dykes, frequently injured and also touted for other positions, potentially centre, potentially in the halves. So his sort of role is not quite yet defined. So there is more of an opportunity for Ison with the Sharks.
Now, hopefully next year there's going to be an opportunity for Braden Hamlin-Uele. That flick pass, as called in the Camerons by Cameron Smith, is as good a flick pass as you'll see at any level of the game. You know, we were big on one of the big things we were on this podcast, and you and I were captains of this team. 4 forwards on the bench. Hamlin-Uele would have been pretty useful in that match versus the Panthers, wouldn't he, Franko, in that form? No?
Pretty useful. I would have been quite happy to see him or Tapua on the bench. I think, Uele probably would have been a safer bet given his experience, but we just don't know what was going on with that knee. So maybe the fact that
it's not like he wasn't.
I get it. I get it. I would have put him in. But this is sort of armchair coaching at its finest, not knowing all the facts. But
get it in the comments. Do you think BHU should have played versus the Panthers?
I think we sort of we all know, and I doubt our biggest supporter Paul is watching. But we all know how I'm a big fan of Talakai in the centres. But even in this scenario, we should have had Atkinson in the centres, left
or Vaila, or
well,
or even one of the wingers in the centres and calling up Stone Street.
And then having Talakai on the bench with 4 forwards, promoting BHU or Tapua, Big Tooks. So that would have been probably my way to go about it. But Ueli, yeah, he was strong. I don't exactly know his minutes. It's hard to, someone out there knows where I could find stats and figures. I know they're out there somewhere. I just have trouble finding them. But he was a presence. So, it's not like he was a passenger. And this flick pass for a try assist was great.
Well, it's pretty good. The goal kicking of Niha, I don't even know. How do I say his first name? Niwa?
Peru.
Peru.
Yeah,
the goal
good.
kicking. What was it? 1 from 4.
Yeah, goal kicking was the difference in the end. It was 4 tries each, so that was a shame.
And the Devils took a penalty goal, didn't they?
Did
they take a penalty goal?
I don't.
Well, let's just see the ticker. The tickers.
stretching
No,
my
there was no penalty goal. No, it was just the goal kicking.
Yeah, that's what I
The
thought.
commentary put the mock on. I guess that's the thing, is maybe looking at, look, we watch obviously a lot of matches. The goal kicker Nico Hines in some of those matches has been absolutely brilliant and gotten us across the line. It's just so important having the quality goal kicking.
Especially when you consider the feedback he got for the season previous of, not being a great goal kicker, just sort of being an average goal kicker. He worked on that, and he is an elite goal kicker now, I would say. I don't think I'm over-exaggerating when I say that based on this past season.
No, definitely not. No, definitely not. Speaking of the goal kicking, Phil Gould was putting the mock on him in the commentary. I thoroughly enjoyed Phil Gould and Cameron Smith in the commentary from that match. I thought, given that it was they didn't have the same knowledge of all of the players, their knowledge of the North Devils players was obviously somewhat limited, and you could tell from Phil Gould's comments that he was told a little bit about the team, but he said, I've heard they're a really attacking team. I'm looking forward to seeing them play. And as a result, you got Cameron Smith asking Phil Gould about 1981 flick passes and grand finals and various other things. What did you make of the commentary, Franko? It's a discussion point frequently for us.
Well,
good description.
They'd have their cheat sheets of, things they could talk about and whatnot handed to them from production teams and stat men and whatnot. And I think the biggest part of the commentary was Phil Gould is a massive Newtown Jets fan. Like, he loves the Jets. He sponsors a Jets player every year.
He's an ex-Jet.
He's an ex-Jet, correct. So, I think that passion for the team and being an New South Wales Queensland state championship match, he can probably afford to be a bit nostalgic and maybe a little bit biased. Not that he's perfect in the NRL when it's like the Panthers or Bulldogs or whatever.
So that's why they put him with Cameron Smith, isn't it? You're right. That's a good take, because the "Go Dozer" from Cameron Smith, which I didn't mind in the State of Origin. It offset that a little bit. I thought they were really entertaining, and good job to them. Obviously, we had the news like last week with the legendary president of Newtown, Barry Vining, unfortunately passing. But boy, what a legendary career, and what a way to go, Franko. Is it as good as any?
Rest in peace. It's hard not to smile, really. I mean, feel for the family. They're all there with him. Much loved. So I think it's just, when your time's up, you may as well be enjoying it and celebrating, right? And
That's probably
went out a winner. It was great, and the boys did wear armbands for this match to honor him. And I mean, it's sad, but gosh, if you can't live forever, then pick your moment. That'd be one of them, I reckon.
That's definitely true. Other than that, anything else from you, Franko? We've given 20 minutes to the Jets now.
Yeah, I think there was a couple of great moments from Beryl. One was his covering tackle. Really put on a great turn of pace to try and make up that distance and pull the Devils player out. And another one was between Peru and himself, stopping, I think it was Gagan, ex-Sharky, barging over, holding him up over the line. Really just amazing show of strength and determination, and that was great. I think that it was a bit upsetting that you can't berate the ref or the ref's performance, but with a few minutes left, there was an incorrect play the ball called against us on Burns, I think it was, with us having all the momentum, and on replay it looked fine. We didn't have any challenges left, and that was a big call because I reckon we score at the end of that set. The Devils were all over the shop. We had all the running game. Beryl had an amazing one-handed pickup and was darting off with a couple outside him, and the ref blew the whistle, and it all sort of devolved from there. That was that. I mean, there was one moment in the dying seconds, and Magoulias had the ball midfield.
Yeah, why didn't he kick it?
So expecting him to do a chip kick to the edge. We even had Jackson Ferris playing and everything. It was all set up for the trilogy. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be. He kept it in his pocket and got tackled with the ball. But
he's like a legend, Billy Magoulias. He's so heralded from so many of our fans. Definitely, indeed. All right, look, that's probably enough on the Newtown Jets. I thought it was a good season all round for Newtown. And I quite enjoy the Newtown partnership and what we bring to them and what they bring to us. I think it works certainly for both teams. Daniel Atkinson would have been pretty handy on that Newtown team on the weekend. But then we looked at, so that was that outcome, and then we look ahead to the NRLW Grand Final with the Sharkies going down, 32 points to 28 with an epic comeback in the second half and a decline conversion attempt, which we'll touch on. The Sharkies girls would have had the greatest comeback in NRLW history had they come back from that scoreline. Just rewatching it today, Franko, that last try that the Roosters scored before halftime, just to get it to 24, big difference between those 18-point score lines to 24-point score lines for comebacks. What was your take on the first half?
I think it was the Roosters by how many through that half. It just, we didn't even look like we were in that game, which is a little bit disingenuous because for the first 15 minutes it was a good little tug of war going on, and then there was a block of another 15 minutes where the Roosters just went bang, bang, bang. And from there, with the history of 44-0 a couple of weeks earlier, scars were there. It was just, yep, okay, well, that's it. That's done. We didn't learn our lesson. We don't have an answer to what the Roosters are doing. Game over. Thanks for coming. It was a bit depressing, a bit disappointing. And like I said, yeah, Roosters by how many at that stage?
Well, it was also telling penalty count, but the Sharks girls just couldn't catch the damn ball off the bombs.
Yeah, there was a bit of that, and we've sort of seen that a few times throughout the season. That said, we were very clunky in that first half. We had a couple of opportunities where we were in good field position, a few back-to-back sets. We had the structure in place with the players in motion, and just passes going wayward, either high, low, behind, really just clunky, and could have been nerves, Grand final occasion, certainly the first for the Sharks as a team. I know some of those individuals have been in grand finals before, but as a collective, big occasion, and maybe that just got to them in the first half, because come out the second half, it was a different team. They were much more improved.
Well, they started throwing the ball around and started attacking, and some of those some of the structures on those plays was what was the final series 1996 David Peachey. Was it 95 or 96? Was that Peachey try against it was 96 against the Broncos, where he gets that brilliant structured play, the There was the Penatani try, and another one of them I thought was just well structured and hats off to them. So, yeah, look, Penatani, what a beast. An absolute gun of a player. You know, like must be the top player in the NRLW. Got
both our centres, Penatani and Biddle, just great for us all season. They absolutely.
There was the moment with Biddle, though, Franko, where off the kickoff, she let it hit her legs and the Roosters recovered it. And that penalty goal they got off the back of that was telling in the end when they got
there was, and you know what? We're praising Penatani, but she got brushed off for a try as well, which was unfortunate to see. But you know, not nitpicking holistically for the season, those two were destructive and absolute standouts. Yeah, they were really good. I think, you know, and Penatani, well deserved. Dally M, Captain of the Year. So great award for her. Good to see some recognition, considering the team started off so well. A little bit of a falter towards the end of the season, but we made the big day, which is great. And what do they say? You got to lose one to win one. Well, hopefully that rings true for us, because I think we've got a.
I reckon if the match goes for another 2 minutes, 3 minutes, we win, Franko.
I agree.
Even if it went for another 45 seconds, because Penatani losing the ball at the end, there's 10 seconds left. That's what she had to do. I thought her decision making was excellent. Now, you know, I was always going to bring this up. How brilliant. I was so pleased for her, how clever she was to decline the conversion. Now, for those that that aren't familiar with the rule with the penalty conversions, you don't actually have to take a penalty conversion. You can take the option to decline it.
A try conversion.
Yeah, try conversion. Yes, a try conversion. So in the event of scoring a try, you can choose to decline the penalty goal conversion, which is an often
not a penalty goal.
Not a penalty goal. Well, a goal. All right, whatever. You know what I mean, Franko.
I know what you mean, but there is a difference.
Yes. So anyway, we scored the try. What are we to go? 32-28. And with a minute and 20 seconds or minute and 15 seconds to go, she gets up immediately declaring, no, not taking the kick. And so then it goes straight to the kickoff, which gives us enough time. If they take the kick, then 25 seconds, 30 seconds gets burnt, and we don't even get the ball back at all. So definitely the right call there, Frank. 100% the right call.
Yeah, so scoring that try has us 4 points down. So at best, we score another try, it's extra time. Or at worst, we score, it's extra time. At best, we score and convert and we win. Also, declining the goal, the clock stops until kickoff. So, you know, everyone gets set, everyone gets ready, and then the goal the kickoff restarts the clock. So it's absolutely the right call and the best opportunity to maximize the time for the game. But it was a bit disappointing. You know, we spoke about, you mentioned it there, 24-0 at halftime. We certainly gave them a lead, and we ended up with 28 points at full time. So we did make that back. It's just unfortunate that they were able to get through for more opportunity in that last half. With 4 minutes to go, we were 4 points down, and both teams scored in that last 4 minutes. The Roosters scored, and then we scored again, ending, you know, still with 4 points down. But there were 2 tries in those last 4 minutes, so that just, I reckon, backs up your comment of if there was any time left in that game, we would have definitely got through.
What else? Any other talking points out of that game, Franko?
Well, yeah, I think that it's one of those things that I just feel as though we will learn from that match, right? I think we all thought we would be, well, okay, I'll put my hand up. I thought we would be one of the greatest NRLW teams last year. I thought we'd recruited well. We've got a great junior base. There's a lot of experience in terms of the Tasha Gale Cup, the Harvey Norman Women's Cup. We've been working really hard towards this moment. I thought we'd do really well last year. Wasn't to be. But this year we got our ducks in a row. We got to the grand final. We've got big players coming next year. We are losing Taylor Preston. but Hanaway looked good, and her partnering in with Tonegado in the halves. We're not without talent there. Young
And Jada Taylor will play fullback
Jada
next
Taylor
year.
will come back to fullback. That'll strengthen us there. So I think next year is gonna look really well, really good for us. I would like to blame the ref in this one because I thought the reffing was pretty poor in this match. But you give 24 points to anyone and you can't blame the ref after that, right? It's your own fault at that point. I do think it was kind of funny between the two matches today and the Flegg team the week before. It was very much Sharks doing Sharks things, losing the way Sharks teams can, right?
We lost all of them.
Losing them in the last dying minutes in all three of them. Some of them with
just getting them all ready.
Comebacks. Some of them with us in front with a couple of minutes to go. Classic Sharks. So you know what?
Classic Sharks.
They're all Sharks. We love them all.
Well, we're going to make that. I think we're going to do an episode in the off season. Is it worth it, or do we like this, or something like that? And the emotional fragility of our football club, is that a thing? I think we will definitely cover that on a future episode. But overall, the NRLW, when we started this podcast, I didn't expect us to give the NRLW as much coverage as we have. But having watched the match, rewatched it today, and seeing the way the girls play and the entertainment, how could we not? I think it's terrific form of the Sharks. I'm so pleased that we were in the grand final. And you know, onwards and upwards for next year. Here's a commenter from Al Delmo saying they're all cut from the same cloth. Yes, Al Delmo, they are, unfortunately. It's like even this podcast, we're like cut from the same cloth too. We're almost a really good podcast, but we just don't quite make it, do we, Franko?
That's one way of putting it. I would have said that I don't trust us to win either, but
oh goodness,
but, yeah.
If there's ever a NRL Sports Podcasters Awards, I bet we'll come second. Second prize
for sure.
For that one as well. Oh goodness. All right. Well, that wraps up the NRLW as well. In other Sharks news, it was on our group chat on the Discord channel. Bugger all Sharks picked for these international teams, Franko. Do we care? Nah.
Oh, look, we do, because we want to be represented, because it shows that we are a club that is performing well. It can also show to potential recruits that, you know, playing for us gets you recognized and improves your ability and gets you picked for these teams. Not to mention the old adage of, you know, being in these games around other elite players, getting that experience is good long term. That said, these internationals are a little bit different than, say, an Origin match or, you know, the World Cup. Not to disparage the games that are coming up, but I feel as though, you know, Ronnie and Nickera, who would have been dead certs to be picked, having niggling injuries, great to let them rest, recover, and have a full off season. So we're going to tilt next year.
Because the Sharks are making a 2025 tilt. I actually thought we've been building towards that for a while. Like we had, like looking at, and we'll go through it in the contract squad chat. But I just think we had 2 or 3 extra fringe forwards, and it looks like we've swapped out, you know, Royce and Royce Hunt and Jack Williams for AFB, which I think is actually a fair trade because we don't lose much by dropping both of those two and bringing in Braden Hamlin-Ueli, but we gain so much by having Aiden Fanua-Blake, for example.
Yeah, and just to elaborate on why these particular matches are a bit of a problem is because they play them so late in the year. The players that play that generally don't come back for their off season at the same time as the rest of the team. They get a bit of an extra break to relax, and I just feel as though that extra time with the squad preparing for a big year will benefit us.
That's true. All right, closing that one out. Williams 2.0 in the comments has said, I do not care for the internationals. Players come back late, lack of training and cohesion, get injuries fixed and have a massive crack next season. That's certainly right. And then a bit of chatter in the comments. SJD, I'm going to jump on board this one. SJD saying, I've only ever talked up 2 upcoming players coming through the ranks, Holmes and now Gabriel. So I think I don't normally jump on the young players, do I, Frank? I did jump on Valentine. I always thought he was.
You wouldn't know who they were.
Well, that's true. I don't watch it. I'm all. See, this is the thing, Franco. I'm first grade, and you're like lower reserve grade in the other team.
True.
So,
True.
but I like the looks of Gabriel.
Yeah,
I like the looks.
Gabriel
of
looks good. He, as most people will know, was part of the swap deal with Connor Tracy. I would say congratulations to Tracy for, apart from a couple of injury reasons, he pretty much played the whole season and pushed his way into the starting fullback position. So good work for him. Massive achievement. He wasn't getting that here. He was our utility, and away he went. And
we lost nothing by Duncan Tracy.
Some people were worried.
I guess he
but
would have played
you know what?
though in that last match.
He could have, but you know what? We got Atkinson unearthed out of that, and how great has he been, right? Because if we still got Tracy, we're not playing Atkinson in those games. We're playing Tracy, and so it's one of those scenarios where the trade worked out well for everyone, and we've got this young up and comer in Gabriel who is almost scoring tries at will. So he's pretty good.
Hopefully. And then SJD's just come through in the comments asking us, how does Iro not get Rookie of the Year? Well, I don't know. Is Iro even the 3rd best center in our team, SJD? No, we're not doing that.
I'd say
Iro did have a terrific season. And to be fair to him, he did hold out Talakai, who was a State of Origin player and terrific player. So he had a really good season, Kale Iro, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And I think the thing that was great with Iro was that he got better and better as the season went on. So it wasn't a case of coming in first grade and this is what I've got and this is why I've made it. It was, there were a few bumps and bruises his first couple of games, you know, positioning issues, handling issues. Defense was not an issue, where that was the main reason a lot of people were worried about getting him a go in firsts. But he worked on it, he fixed it up, and he got better and better and really showed that he belongs, which is something not a lot of rookies can say. Now, the reason why he didn't get it, unfortunately, was there was a half who was playing well, and we all know that these sort of rewards skew towards halves. But also that slow build for Iro could have maybe impacted his potential winning of that award. But by the end of that season, yeah, he was a great rookie and awesome to have.
And 2.0, and this will probably be one of our last points. Looking forward to seeing a forward named Max Bradbury, hopefully in the next year or two. Part of the swap involved with Lockie Miller needs an injury-free season. I want to see Jesse Colquhoun, and I want to see Kay Dykes as well. So there's a few.
Yeah, look, I'm not sold on Max. I'm not sold on Max. I don't know if he's going to be. I don't know if he's going to be the one. I think he's already been surpassed by Felix Fertilli. I think he's going to be the kid that comes through. He's looking really good. He's strong. He's got that try scoring knack as well. He's one to watch, I think. But you know, Max, he's got a lot of raps on him, so I'll be proven wrong there. But he's got a bit of a fight on his hands, Max.
Jeez, I can't wait for 2.0 to give you a bit of stick when Max Bradbury's like a star player for us, and you'll herald that and really love it.
Yeah, all good.
All good.
I hope he does well, right? Because we want our kids to come through and be awesome, because that's what we've been talking about as a development club. We want these juniors, whether they're local juniors or recruited young, to come through and push for spots, push for positions, because you know we talk about, you know, players getting pinched or poached. We want someone there to step into their role when needed, and next man up mentality. And we can't do that if they're not good. So Let's go, Max. Get there, buddy.
That's all true. All right. That'll probably do us for this week's episode in the off season. We're going to aim to do 40-minute episodes, aren't we, Franco? We're going to try to. Depends how we're going. I have a feeling that the contract one that you'll do in a couple of weeks might run over that. So in terms of things that we have coming up for our faithful buddies that come along and listen, next week we will have an end of season review. The week after that, we will have Franco is going to take us through the off-contract players. The week after that, we're going to do a phone in to hear what you guys all thought of the season. And then following that, we've got a few interviews with a few Sharks alumni and different characters, including me sitting down with ex-Sharks physio Francis Crosley and talking through his time with the Sharks in the 90s. And Matty Williams is going to put the trivia challenge on the line for Sharks fans as well during the time. And then other than that, if you want to join a lovely new, I don't know if lovely is the right word for the Discord channel. I don't think you can call us lovely, can you, Franco?
Sharks fans are lovely. What a lovely community.
Just attractive, handsome, charming, intelligent community
Bunch of degenerates.
There is a lot of them. So if you want to do that, jump on board and jump on the Discord channel. Other than that, look, I think it's a pretty good season. I'm looking forward to reviewing it next week with Francis and Lats are going to join me for that one. But in the meantime, every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m, if you're missing the rugby league, you wanted to say good day to us, we will be here, or you can watch us on delay a little bit later. But we'll be here each week. We'll probably take a break over Christmas and then bring on 2025, eh, Franco?
Can't wait.
Sounds good. All right, guys, that was the ET Stand podcast for this Tuesday, the 8th of October. For Stephen Franklin, my lovely, beautiful, gorgeous co-host, I'm David Boldo, and we'll see you guys next time.
For over 50 years, people have come to see the Sharks play. Talent, skill, speed, intelligence, elite-level athleticism. That's not these guys. Biased, one-eyed, opinionated, more often wrong than right. They make up for their complete lack of talent with pure dribble, gibberish, and enthusiasm. This is the ET Stand Podcast.